Hello guys, welcome to another edition of Ray Sports News and Debates. Okay, in today's video is going to be our first video, part 5 series in regards to fantasy football, who you should draft, where you should draft them at if they're available. We're going to be going over quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, flexes, and defenses. Kickers, not really going to go over because they're just kicking field goals, so it's like pick a good field goal kicker. Or pick a team where you know they're not really going to score a lot of touchdowns. You know they're going to get a lot of field goals. But anyways, let's hop into today's video, guys. First, we're going to start with probably the most popular picks, okay? We're going to go with running backs, okay? I'm going to give you my top half of running backs. Most leagues are anywhere from 8 teams, 10 teams, 12 teams. So I'm going to give, about 16 picks, okay? Without further ado, let's hop into it, guys. Okay, in 16th place, okay, I'm going to go Ezekiel Elliott from the Dallas Cowboys. Wasn't really relevant in fantasy last year. Had a couple of good games, but was kind of subpar. Took him 17 games to get over 1,000 yards. And Derrick Henry had like 900 something in like 7 games. So like what Zeke did for a whole season, Derrick Henry did in like 7 games. No, right now Derrick Henry's the better running back. I'll give you that. But that just like shows you the type of year that Zeke's had. So Zeke, since he's gone in the league and he's got his contract, he's gone down every year in regards to production, yards per carry, and touches. So last year they were probably going about 70-30 in the carry load between him and Pollard. This year I think it's going to be 60-40. I think they're going to give Zeke a chance through the first like 6 or 8 games, and it's the same old Zeke. I think they're going to go 50-50 with him and Pollard. Pollard's not a 4-down back, but, I mean, at this point, Zeke's really only relevant in the red zone area. First to go on the 5, they're going to run the ball. They're going to give it to Zeke. Zeke still has strength. He still has power. He's just lost that, like, extra gear that he had when he came out of Ohio State. But I got him 16th. I mean, it's not a bad spot. I mean, I think he's still going to be selected in about, 93, 92% of all drafts, just because, there's some teams like Jacksonville who I don't think their running back's really going to be relevant this year. But yeah, so I got Zeke. And in 15th place, okay, I'm going to go Anthony Gibson from the Washington football team. Or the Washington Commanders is, I think, their name now. Dumb name, by the way. But anyways, Anthony Gibson, like I said, last year, they were really kind of like flexing their running backs in regards of, like Gibson, they had 2 others that were kind of rotating to kind of see who was going to take, the job, essentially. And Anthony Gibson, by far, I think he outperformed both of them. He's quicker. He has that cutting ability that makes him one of the, elite running backs in the league. It's just he plays for Washington. And I hate saying that as like a bad thing, but he plays for Washington. So maybe, he'll have an Alfred Morris year. A lot of people forget Alfred Morris' first rookie year as a Washington Redskin. Rushed for over 1,600 yards, was rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. But I think Anthony Gibson has a lot of upside in a lot of drafts. Plus, they have the 3rd easiest schedule, if I'm not mistaken. No, they have the easiest schedule, I think. Going to 14th, okay, we're going to go to the AFC North. I'm going to go J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins is coming off of a torn ACL. They just took him off the unable to perform list. So with Lamar Jackson, they're going to go with that read, kind of read option type of offensive style. Dobbins is going to get touches. He's going to be relevant. It's just going to be a matter of how soon they're going to have to go to the pass game, because eventually Baltimore's going to have to go to a pass game. Dobbins has been, a proven, receiver out of the backfield. It's just like the same thing with the Redskins, or with the Cowboys. He's going to be splitting reps with somebody, so it's kind of hard to put him in that, top 10-ish range. He has the potential to be a top 10 fantasy running back, but right now I got him 14th. And these are all honorable mentions, by the way. Okay, 13th, been one of my favorite running backs since he got into the league, and I really think he's going to be relevant this year. It's going to be Melvin Gordon from the from the Broncos. Again, a guy that was splitting reps with somebody last year because he was a little banged up. But I think adding Russell Wilson, the defense that they have, it'll take the burden out of Russell Wilson in regards to throwing it because he can throw it to Melvin, who's, been a great fantasy, PPR running back. And Melvin Gordon, he still has it. He's still got that speed. He's still got that cutting ability, as long as he's been in the league. So, that's why I got him up there. Number 12, okay, I'm going to go from the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to go Miles Sanders. I think if he still stays healthy, again, a lot of these guys could creep into the top 10, in regards to fantasy points. I think Miles Sanders healthy is a top 8 running back in the league. In regards to PPR, Jalen Hurts, has been known to throw to his running backs in the past. And this team's going to go as far as Jalen Hurts does. So if they're successful, they'll be able to run the ball with Miles Sanders, get the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands, and when he does have to throw it, either checking down to Miles Sanders or, throw it to A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. But so I got him 12. Okay. 11, I'm going to go Aaron Jones from the Green Bay Packers. I think they're really going to go run heavy here this year because, Rodgers has a lot of rookie wide receivers, and Rodgers loves Aaron Jones. He loves using him. He's a great receiving back. And I said about a lot of these guys, but Aaron Jones is like, when Rodgers doesn't find anything, he's checking down to Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is like the king of 1 reception, 6 yards. That's literally what Aaron Jones does. Or not Aaron Jones, but Aaron Jones. But, he's going to get about 22 to 26 carries a game just because, Rodgers still has to figure out his sequence with his rookie wide receivers. But we're cranking into the top 10, okay? And just a little bit of, stats about these running backs. Zeke has the second easiest schedule. J.K. Dobbins has the 10th easiest. Melvin Gordon has the 17th easiest. Miles Sanders has the 3rd easiest schedule. And Aaron Jones has the 11th easiest schedule. Okay. But starting our top 10, okay, coming back, not from an injury, but he didn't really play that much last year. It's going to be Saquon Barkley from the Giants. This guy has basically been this team since he came into the league a couple years ago. He's going to get, 25 touches a game. He's going to get about 3 to 5 catches out of the backfield from Daniel Jones or Tyrod Taylor, whoever's throwing him the ball this year. Thing is, Daniel Jones, if he can really limit his turnovers, kind of like he did last year. He wasn't great, but he's better. I think the Giants are still going to be in a really bad team. I think they're going to finish at the bottom of the NFC East. But I think Saquon will have a bounce back year in regards to fantasy. So definitely. And the Giants have the 4th easiest schedule as well. So if I'm a fantasy owner, if Saquon's available round 3, late round 2, you can take a chance and get him. Just know he's playing for a really bad team, but they have an easy schedule. So it's kind of like a two-headed, you got to take the pros with the cons in regards to Saquon. Saquon's been hurt over the past 3 years. So, again, you got to take that into consideration because he gets hurt around playoff time. You're having to draft, the backup or, somebody, someone who's splitting touches with somebody. You're not going to get that production come playoff time. But 9th, really had a pretty decent year last year. Okay. I'm going to go DeAndre Swift from the Detroit Lions. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Lions this year. I think the Lions have a squad. If they can just fix the defense, they got DeAndre Swift in the backfield. They got Jared Goff. They got St. Pierre at wideout. They have a pretty solid offense, and they have T.J. Hawkinson as the tight end. If the defense can just not really get turnovers, because you want your defense to always get turnovers, but if they can just kind of help Jared Goff out and keep them in games to where they can kind of run the ball. Jared Goff really only throws to the running back and T.J. Hawkinson. He threw to St. Pierre when he had to, and he was the number 1 guy last year. But I think, DeAndre Swift, really going to be a reliable running back. He's going to be healthy. He's going to get the workload every single week. because of the Detroit Lions. And their division's winnable this year. Not saying they're going to win the division, but I think DeAndre Swift is going to have a great fantasy year. I'd probably pick him late second round. I wouldn't go in regards to getting him, first round. But if he's there, pick 18, or pick like 15, 16, I'd say you take a chance and you get him. Because Jared Goff is like, again, one of those quarterbacks who's checked down. If he doesn't see it within 5 seconds, he's going to his running back. And the Lions have the 5th easiest schedule. So, again, take that for what it's worth. Number 8, I'm going to go with the pretty reliable, kind of safe pick. I'm going to go Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon has been a great fantasy running back over the past, I think, like 5 years since they stopped splitting him with Giovanni Bernard. Mixon's the guy, he's going to get touches from Burrow. Burrow's going to get Mixon involved as much as he can when he's not throwing to Jamar Chase. But not really much to go in here. Everybody who plays fantasy know how good Joe Mixon is. And if you don't know how good Joe Mixon is, he's probably a late first, early second round running back. Like I said, if you go through like a snake draft for your 1 through 8, 8 through 1, if you get that 8th pick, okay, in the first round, get your running back and then get Joe Mixon. Okay, Joe Mixon might have a 9-point game every now and again, but it's pretty reliable in regards to getting double-digit points. 7th, I'm gonna go Nick Chubbs. Nick Chubbs is obviously the quicker running back out of Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's really the receiving back. So again, the reason I don't have Chubbs a lot higher is because, again, he is kind of splitting reps with another running back. And although Kareem has requested a trade, they haven't granted it to him. So, Kareem Hunt's probably going to get about 8 touches. Nick Chubbs will probably get around 20. But it depends who the quarterback is, because it could be Jacoby Brissett, it could be Jimmy Garoppolo, or whoever decides, to be the starting quarterback, whoever the Browns select. But if it's Jacoby Brissett, backups are always trying to, get the running backs involved to take the pressure off of them. So, that's why I have Nick Chubb 7th. So they're right in the middle in regards to easiest strength of schedule. So it's kind of like they're going to play some good teams, they're going to play some bad teams, and they're kind of in the middle. 6th, I'm going to go Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara, like ever since he came into the league, he's just been a beast, man. He's Zeke, but he's able to maintain it a little bit longer. He's a power back. He's quick. He's always going to be good for about 3 to 6 catches out of the backfield. Winston's coming back 100%. They're getting Michael Thomas back. So that'll take a little bit of pressure off Kamara, knowing that, he has like 2 great receivers out there, so that they can run the ball a little bit more effectively, a little bit more efficiently, take the ball out of Winston's hands a little bit more. But I think Kamara's a top 6 running back. I definitely think he's a first round running back. Especially if this top 5 are gone. I would be very surprised if Kamara went 3rd round. I really think he's a first or second round running back. A guy who's always constantly about getting 70 yards rushing, about 20 to 30 yards receiving. Great in a PPR league for sure. But yeah, so 5th place. Okay, we're going into our top 5 running backs. Okay, we're gonna go in with the guy who won the rushing title. Although Derrick Henry stays healthy, I don't think he wins it. We're going to go Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor had one of the best fantasy seasons ever last year. Obviously, he led the league in rushing. Was a double-digit touchdown machine. Caught balls out of the backfield from Carson Wentz. And I think with Matt Ryan, he's really going to hit that next level and returns to fantasy relevant, because what Matt Ryan did when he was in Atlanta is he really elevated his running backs. Devontae Freeman, who doesn't, he's bounced back in the league, a little bit from team to team, in regards to his talent. But Matt Ryan made Devontae Freeman. He made those running backs in Atlanta the way that they were because, they ran the ball. He made sure to get them involved through the receiving game. And, hard to believe a lot of people won't be selecting Devontae Freeman in a lot of the drafts, because ever since he left Atlanta, it really hasn't been that good. So Matt Ryan is really great about making his running backs really, really, really good. So that's why I'm picking Jonathan Taylor. I obviously think the Colts are going to be a more heavy run game, just like they were last year. So that way Matt Ryan doesn't have to throw the ball as much, keeps a little bit of pressure off of him. But, I mean, he's a first overall pick in my opinion. You know, you can kind of make a case, you know, for somebody else. But he's definitely a first-round pick. If he's not selected within your first 4 picks, I don't know what your fantasy league is doing, because Jonathan Taylor is probably the best running back that you could draft. They do have the 16th schedule as well. They play the Texans twice. They play the Jaguars twice, which, I mean, that's kind of 4 easy games right there. But yeah, so fourth, I'm going to go Dalvin Cook. I think the Vikings are really, really going to be good this year. And the reason I have Dalvin Cook at 4th, he's always been relevant. You know Kirk Cousins is going to give him about 25 touches out of the backfield. And you could say that about a lot of these guys. But, you know, the Vikings are, you know, going to be more pass heavy. They're going to get Dalvin Cook in his touches. But, you know, they are going to throw him the ball out of the backfield for sure. With Kirk Cousins being the quarterback. They have the 13th easiest schedule. I mean, they do play the Bears twice and they play the Lions twice, but the Lions' run defense has gotten better this offseason. So, yeah. So, number 3, my favorite running back in the league. If you're not selecting Jonathan Taylor first, you definitely need to get this man, and that is Derrick Henry from the Tennessee Titans. I love Derrick Henry. He's the definition of power, speed, and durability in a running back. He'll run you over. He'll run a 4.340 or a 4.440, and he'll leave you in the dust. And he's 260. Well, he was 260, but he might have trimmed down a little bit. But that is muscle. That's not fat. That's not, you know, whatever you want to call it. No, he's built. He is built 250 and will run your butt over real quick. But obviously the Tennessee Titans, they only have Robert Woods really to throw to, so Derrick Henry is going to get even more touches. And he was on pace to break the rushing record last year. I think he's really going to have another great year running the ball for Tennessee this year. Tennessee does have the 8th easiest schedule. Again, you play the Texans twice and you play the Jaguars twice. So like I said, those are easy games right there. But yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry's obviously been one of the better running backs fantasy-wise over the past, 4 years. He's been my running back for the past 3 years, and I've won multiple leagues with him. So that's why I recommend you need to select Derrick Henry. Number 2, okay, I'm going to go with CMC, Christian McCaffrey. When this boy is healthy, he's the number 1 running back fantasy-wise in the league. 8 to 10 catches a game. Going to get about 22 touches on the ground. You know, he's Carolina's team. You know, Baker, if he ends up being the starter, is going to get the most out of Christian McCaffrey. Now, the thing is with McCaffrey, that boy's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy. Christian McCaffrey stays healthy. Like I said, best running back in the league in regards of fantasy. They do it the 10th easiest schedule. And my number 1 running back, I'm going to go Najee Harris out of Pittsburgh. I think he had a great rookie campaign. Was one of the few bright spots for Pittsburgh last year offensively. With Mitchell Trubisky, I think they're going to get even more into a running back role, or if they go with Kenny Pickett, they're going to be going to that read option kind of fast-paced type of offense. And I think Najee Harris will really accelerate with that, considering he came from Alabama. But yeah, I mean, Najee Harris, definitely a top 5 pick. If, you know, King Henry go, Jonathan Taylor go, you need to get Najee Harris. But that's my list, guys. Feel free, check out the other videos in the channel. We're 19 subscribers away from 100. So go ahead, like this video. Leave a comment on who you think your top 5 fantasy running backs are. Share this video on your social medias. Get your friends to subscribe to the channel, guys. And you guys have a wonderful day.